For you, bro.
Oh man, I
For
see
you.
FB. Let me put my headset in here, man. How you doing, Al?
Rocking it for you, bro.
You're looking good, man. Looking good. So you know, I didn't even know half of the things that I just said about you. Thank you so much. Too loud? No, that's perfect. That's perfect. I got my fan on over here. Um, I didn't know half the things that I said, but I did know about the natural bodybuilding thing. So how long have you been at Black Enterprise?
I'm in my 33rd year, man. Came in
30.
1987 as an associate editor, ran the magazine for 13 years, ran the website for 2.5 years, became the first chief content officer. So yeah, man, and I still love it because like you said, I just love talking to successful people, and I'm a geek about entrepreneurship. So you know I'm a big Shark Tank fan. Loved it from day one. Congrats on the Emmy nomination. I know y'all gonna get it again. Yeah, so yeah, 33 years at Black Enterprise.
Wow. So, you know, I think that
And
says
now I'm a 60
volumes.
plus bodybuilder, by the way. I turned 60 in March.
60. You turned
Yeah.
60. Are you a Pisces?
Pisces, no doubt.
My man.
You know how we do.
You're 60 years old. You're older than a half a century looking like that. Amazing. So there's so many things for us to talk about, but I'm going to hop into the first thing. First of all, I always say that, and you know, I know people get tired of hearing me say this, that I'm Batman at the company and everybody else is Robin. Be at a company. Oh, that's freezing. Hold on. All right. To be at a company for 33 years, you said?
Yeah.
How do you stay there as you? Why are you there for 33 years, number one? And then number two is, why have they had you there for 33 years? That's a secret sauce that everybody needs to know from both sides of the spectrum.
Well, I'll tell you, right, it's easy to say why I've been there. And as you know, our visionary founder, Earl passed away in April. His vision, of doing good while doing well, Black business and Black entrepreneurship as being a key to Black wealth creation and moving us forward. It just fit me. And I didn't know that before I got there. I thought I was going to be a fashion journalist, fashion and lifestyle journalist. I thought I was on my way to GQ and Esquire. So when people ask me about being, they are now 30 plus years, one is, I don't see it as 30 plus years. I see it as 1 year, 30 plus times. I'm very intentional about, do I really want to be here? Am I offering value? Are there still things that I can gain and grow? And the second thing is I've had a different job every 3 years, either because the industry has changed or something new was being demanded of me. And I believe in growth. I believe in intentional growth. So when I get bored, or when I feel like I've mastered something, let me not call it boredom, I look for something else to do. And fortunately, Black Enterprise and Butch, who's now my current boss and CEO, they've always been open to let me try new things. So when I was last editor-in-chief of the magazine in 2008, it was my idea to step off and move into digital because I saw that as what was going to be coming on the horizon. Literally, we know how the world would change by then. But yeah, it's been about the ability to grow and deliver value for a company I believe in with a mission I believe in.
I think that that's amazing. However, we always talk about entrepreneurship, and I always say working within a system and being an entrepreneur is harder because you have to work within other people's standards. We have a lot of people watching right now who are bosses, a lot of people watching right now who are employees. From some bosses would say, I don't want you moving in another direction in the company because you're doing a great job here. Or they may say, well, I don't think we should move in that direction. And how do you convince them, wait a minute, man, I'm not taking my foot off the pedal over here, but I think there's other things to do here. And it's in the best of our both interests to do it. And how do you get them to convince them to do it? Because if you've been there a long period of time, you obviously do a kick-ass job at what you do. Why do I want you to go somewhere else in the company? Because then if this starts to falter where you're at, I'm going to look at you and say, yo, man, get back over here. Right? So how do you get that healthy balance? It's kind of like talking to your significant other and saying, well, you want to hang out more. Okay, well, what are you doing for me over here? You're going to cook more here? Or what do you like it's that. How do you get that?
Well, you absolutely have to operate with a what's in it for them mentality. You know, if you pitch it like this is going to be good for me, you're right. They'll be like, but that's great, but I'm not paying you so you can do what's good for you. I'm paying you so you can do what's good for the company. So yeah, I always operate where can I deliver value so I can make this case for why I should be doing something new. The same is on the other side. Sometimes they're asking me to do something new, and then I have to decide, is this really what I want to do? Is this good for my career? Is this good for my finances? But I got a couple of advantages, Daymond. One, we have so many great people at Black Enterprise that at the time that I asked to step off the magazine, and you know Derek Dingle, our current chief content officer, Butch effectively had two quarterbacks. It was like a Joe Montana, Steve Young challenge. And he was like, two quarterbacks, you don't really need them both on the magazine. So he had the luxury of saying, yeah, go ahead and focus on digital, because we really do have a dude that can do the magazine thing. The other advantage I have is I'm not a traditionally trained journalist. And that's why I love your story, because on paper, if you look at us, what we ended up doing is not what people said we would do. I did not study journalism in college. My degree's in art. I won't bore you with the whole story, but it's almost a series of happy accidents that put me right where I want to be. So I've always been that dude that's like, okay, I can do that, but let me do this. I consider myself like a mixed martial arts master of all media forms. I'm not locked into one thing or the other.
I love it. I love it. Because what people can learn from that comment and that statement right there is, first of all, the magazine was founded off of a legendary entrepreneur. And believe it or not, I think I've shared this with you. My mother and Mr. Earl Graves were 3 doors away from each other in Brooklyn, where they grew up.
Yeah, you did tell me that.
So that's absolutely amazing. However, his son Butch will then say, all right, well, listen, you know what? I don't need to wear suspenders and belts. If I got 2 guys who are, 2 key persons, this is how I scale, and I will allow and or encourage one to move to another area. Also, I didn't grow up as a fashion designer. I didn't go to FIT. You didn't go to journalism. Sometimes we're too close to it, and when we do go out there and we are trained formally, sometimes we cannot get out of our own way. If you were a journalist, a lot of times I've seen the journalists fall by the wayside because they went to school to create a proper story and have it articulated and be able to put this story out that, in the past when we were younger, the story would come out in a month or 6 months or whatever the case is. But all of a sudden, what happens in 2007 and 2009, you can have a story that's coming out in a month, but it was on Twitter an hour.
You hit the nail on the head, man. I was into social media back into the late 90s before we ever knew it was going to have anything to do with our work. And, as one of my daughters calls me a social media OG. I was one of the first national magazine editors to actually represent a magazine on a social media platform. I was on MySpace as the editor-in-chief of Black Enterprise. And my peers in the industry is like, what are you doing? What is that? But that's who I've always been. I'm like, I want to see what works and figure out how I can work the new thing. And as it turns out, now you can't be a successful media business or any kind of business without social media. So again, it was a skill set that we didn't know we would need, but now it's critical to our business.
Yeah, and it's like everybody right now trying to pivot. I love the president of my company, Ted, always says if New York Times were caring about selling papers, then they'd be out of business. But they understood that they need to sell content and deliver it no matter where people are absorbing the content. Or if you're a gym owner, are you really selling the gym space, or are you selling a healthy lifestyle and people are buying into you for a healthy lifestyle, which you now can go into the fitness. You can then talk to people about nutrition and the mental things about the lifestyle. It's not all just going into the gym, because as you know, which I do not take this advice, but 6-packs are made in the kitchen and not necessarily in the gym, right? So, it's all about the people here that are providing service to people, and they're stuck and they only are thinking this way. I talked to a restaurant owner on one of my power talks, and he said, food is okay, but you know what I sell? I sell a special time, because you're only going to have one 16th birthday with your daughter. You're going to only have one time to share that meeting that was a success with your partners, and you're going to share it in my place, because I'm going to guarantee you the ambience and the food and the drinks and the good time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. People get caught up in how they serve the mission, and then they forget the mission. The mission of Black Enterprise has been the same since day one. It's never changed. But we print maybe 2 or 3 special issues of the magazine a year. And when people don't see magazines on newsstands anymore, why I don't see Black Enterprise? I'm like, you don't see any vinyl records out there either. Child Records is closed too. We're still,
but you still listen to music.
Same mission.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you still listen to music. Now it's not on a CD, it's streamed. But so we're in the exact same business we were when Earl Graves Sr. founded the magazine's mission. We serve the exact same mission. But I'm not going to put ink on paper just so it can be thrown on advertisers and not spending money on ink on paper.
If you want another awesome video in our Black Excellence series, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.